21st Century Literature Genres, Module 2, Senior High School Students. Before that, let's recall the major literary genre. Major literary genres, these are: for poetry, we have rhythm, rhyme, meter. For drama, we have stage, act, character. For fiction, we have imagine, made up, and real. And for nonfiction, we have fact, evidence, experiences. First, we have the poetry. It is an imaginative knowledge of experience articulated through linguistic choices in terms of meaning, sound, and rhythm in order to elicit an emotional reaction. It has been known to use rhyme and meter. Poetry is practically impossible to define because it is an authentic and individual way of expression. Next, we have drama. A play is a prose or poetry work that tells a tale about conflict and character contrast through conversation or pantomime, and is designed to be performed on a stage. It might be any scenario or sequence of events that is vivid, passionate, contradictory, or compelling. Fiction is fictional writing that is not presented as truth despite the fact that it may be based on genuine incident or scenario. Novels, short stories, and novellas are examples of fiction literature. The last from the major genre is nonfiction. It is based on facts and the author's viewpoint on a topic. The goal of nonfiction writing is to educate and occasionally convince. Biographies, textbook, articles, periodicals, and newspapers are some examples. And now, let us see the 21st century literature genres. Illustrated novel. Story through text and illustrated images. 50% of the narrative is presented without words. The reader must interpret the images to comprehend the story completely. Textual portions are presented in traditional form. Some illustrated novels may contain no text at all, span all genres. Examples include The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick and The Arrival by Sean Tan. Digifiction, triple media literature, combines three media, book, movie, or video, and internet website. To get the full story, students must engage in navigation, reading, and viewing in all three forms. Patrick Carman's Skeleton Greek and Anthony Suzuker's Level 26 are examples. Graphic novel. The term is employed in broadly manner, encompassing nonfiction works and thematically linked short stories as well as fictional stories across a number of genres. Archie Comics by John Goldwater and illustrator Bob Montana is a good example. Narrative and comic book formats, narrative work in which the story is conveyed to the reader using a comic form. Manga, Japanese word for comics. It is used in the English-speaking world as a genetic term for all comic books and graphic novels originally published in Japan, considered as an artistic and storytelling style. A merry manga sometimes used to refer to comics created by American artists in manga style. Shonen, boys manga, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. Shoujo, girls manga, Sailor Moon. Shonen, men's manga, Akira. Josei Women's Manga, Loveless Paradise Kiss. Kodomo Children's Manga, Doraemon Hello Kitty. Doodle fiction. Literary presentation where the author incorporates doodle writing, drawings, and handwritten graphics in place of the traditional font. Drawing enhances the story, often adding humorous elements. Examples include The Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney and Timmy Feller by Stefan Pastis. Text talk novels. This includes blogs, email, and IM format narratives, stories told almost entirely in dialogue, simulating social network exchanges. Flash fiction is a style of fictional literature of extreme brevity. There is no widely accepted definition of the length and category. It could range from word to 1,000. Chick lit or chick literature is genre fiction which addresses issues of modern womanhood, often humorously and lightheartedly. Chick lit typically features a female protagonist whose femininity is heavily thermalizing in the plot. Scarlett Bailey's The Night Before Christmas and Miranda Dickinson's It Started with a Kiss are examples of this. Six-word flash fiction. Ernest Hemingway. For Sale, Baby Socks, Never Worn. Margaret Atwood longed for him. Get him, shit. Creative nonfiction, also known as literary nonfiction or narrative nonfiction, a genre of writing that uses literary styles and techniques to create factually accurate narratives. Contrasts with other nonfiction, such as technical writing or journalism, which is also rooted in accurate fact, but it's not primarily written in service to its craft. As a genre, creative nonfiction is still relatively young and is only beginning to be scrutinized with the same critical analysis given to fiction and poetry. 1000 Gifts by Anne Voskamp and Wind, Sand, and Stars by Antoinette de Saint-Exupéry are examples. Science fiction is a genre of speculative fiction dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic science and technology, space travel, time travel, faster than light travel, a parallel universe, and extraterrestrial life. Often explores the potential consequences of scientific and other innovations and has been called a literature of ideas. Examples include Suzanne Collins's Mockingjay and Sarah Maas' Kingdom of Ash. Blog, a web blog, a website containing short articles called posts that are changed regularly. Some blogs are written by one person containing his or her own opinions, interests, and experiences, while others are written by different people. Hyper poetry. Digital poetry that uses links and hypertext markup. It can either involve set words, phrases, lines, etc. that are presented in variable order but it sit on the page much as traditional poetry does, or it can contain parts of the poem that move and transform. It is usually found online through CD-ROM and diskette versions exist. Earliest examples date to no later than the mid-1980s. For Activity 1, Direction, analyze the content of the text below and identify its literary genre. Assessment 1. Write a 5 to 10 sentences paragraph describing the characteristics of Tristan Cafe that qualifies it as a 21st century literary piece. Use the paragraph writing rubric as your guide. Criteria, content, organization, mechanics, and grammar. Activity 2, Direction. Compare and contrast these modern literary genres using the Venn diagram. Text talk novel, blog, hyper poetry. Thank you.